Hello and welcome back to Bump Love. On this beautiful day, we are being hosted at the lovely Sheraton Hotel to discuss a much demanded for topic, single motherhood. It is no secret that single mothers are the fastest growing component in our social population today. In the last Uganda demographic survey conducted in 2016, it was reported that 19% of children under the age of 15 are being raised in single-member households, 88% of which are headed by women. Yeah. So before we dive fully into the topic of single motherhood, ladies, it's clear that there are different variations of single mothers. Yeah. But today we would like to discuss, to put this in context and to specific context for this discussion, I'd like us to first define what a single mother is. Yeah. So a single mother is typically a mother living without a partner, raising her children on her own without support from the child's father. Okay. Financially, emotionally, physically. So let's start this discussion.
Let us start
what
there.
Really is the reason for the increasing number of single mothers in Uganda today?
Wow. When you say what is the reason?
What are your views on
There are many, they are quite a number. But I'll start with one that I feel like is for me, it's what I've seen with the people that I see around me. Husbands have forgotten their primary role. I can't stress this enough. I don't know if it's the parents that have not done a good job raising these husbands to be the best fathers they can be for their children. The men are so lazy. They want to sleep all day.
I thought we were going to sugarcoat this.
They are so lazy. Lately, I don't know why. There's no sugarcoating. We are so done. Yeah. Many of our friends are really struggling raising their children alone.
This is
so it's not cool.
Yeah.
No,
these guys want to sleep all day and let the women do their job. I don't know if it's because we've not done. I feel like we can do better as parents. I feel like it started from home. It started from home when they were raised. I mean, because it's a boy, because you're not the one cooking, you can sleep. Because you're not the one, supposed to clean the house, rest. And then these guys grow up very disrespectful. I like that the basics just need to be put in place for this to work. Respect. A child is, talking back to you. And then they grow up, they get a job, and they're talking back to their bosses. They've studied, they've done masters, but just respect. They have bad manners. You see them struggling. This guy has 2 masters, but he's just bad. He can't even take care of the peers. So at home, it's at home. You go back, find a guy chilling, and you're like, really? And then they're like, women need to submit. Submit to what? To a man who is not buying food, So we need to get it straight. We are submitting to people who need to be submitted to. Yeah? Who deserve to be submitted to. I feel like that is one of the, for me. No, there's not other reasons. I feel like there's a lot of other reasons.
So I'm really glad we are talking about this subject. When Pumla started off by saying it's been much requested, this topic has been requested since we started Bump Love. So I'm really glad that we are finally talking about it. But when I was thinking about why there's a high number of single moms, I sort of took it back to the beginning. I think that there are so many relationships that are not clarified.
Yeah, right from the beginning.
Yes.
All right.
People get into things. They are not quite relationships. It's come, we stay. Yes. It is, we are friends. We are getting to know each other.
Hey.
And in there's very little communication. There's very little clarity of boundaries. There's very little clarity of what's the end goal of this. What happens if I get pregnant? Those conversations don't happen.
Yes.
So now, Madame gets pregnant. And getting pregnant is met with immaturity, it's met with selfishness, it is met with pride, it is met with, this was not my grand plan, but now you're saying,
I wasn't planning to be a father.
I wasn't planning to be a father, and now you're saying, Thank you very I don't
Without
understand.
protection.
Like, yes,
What
without
are we on?
protection. What do you hope is going to happen? That you're just going to get trophies and medals
Maybe
and
the Holy Spirit would make her pregnant. Nothing to do with it.
okay. So I feel like there is no clarity at the very beginning. So people get into these things, and I know that a lot of maybe women, because they don't want, how do I put this? Also, somebody has shown interest in you. Yeah. So like, if I bug him and now I'm asking for clarity, maybe he's going to walk away and go. And indeed, he could walk away and go to someone else who is just willing to, enjoy. Let's come and we enjoy ourselves.
Enjoyment.
Yes.
Allow me to enjoy myself.
So I feel like there is no clarity in these things, and once the responsibility of bringing a child into the world comes in, there's no foundation of maturity. So what Rosette was talking about, it's met with people who are like, yeah, this is not my portion in life. I wasn't ready to have a child. Rather than saying, okay, this has happened, what do we do? So you find a lot of men walking away. And then, of course, the women become angry, which is justified because, hey, we were in this together.
Exactly.
She becomes angry, and then a child comes into this madness, and then she's forced to have to look after the child because she's the one who spends, I guess, the most time. She carries the child, brings the child to term, delivers the baby. She has to breastfeed and look after the child. And so it's almost inevitable that she becomes the primary caregiver. So for me, I think the lack of clarity from the start.
That's
one
very
of my
pertinent.
reasons.
Yeah, well, I get that, and so I think there is a two-way street. I don't think that men became worse, to be honest. I think that women just got better. I think women just stopped taking shit. Like they stopped that gumaring nonsense. But it's not that, I don't think men changed the way they behave. It's just that women stopped being content with the way
the bad life.
And maybe it was not so much bad life, but the fact that we are all now moving towards dual partnership. Because before, where the roles were defined.
Yes.
Mother does this, nurtures, takes care of the children. Father provides, usually financially. And now when the woman's role is being put into the man's role, the woman expects also help from the man to kind of find a way into to support her in her role as well. But when they don't get that support, they get tired.
They
and
do.
they just walk away. And remember, before there was stigma attached to
Yes.
marriages, to single motherhood. Not so much anymore.
These days.
People preach happiness. Mananga, the way they preach happiness. Mananga, do you boo?
Do you boo? I know. Goma. Hey, even us twagoma, you know.
So say, today Senga will asks you, Mwana, life is short.
Hey, go and get another man.
The narrative seems to have changed. The advice seems to have changed because, and let me tell you, those singers, me, I've spoken to my singers, you can really see that pain, like they're living vicariously through us now.
Yes.
We were not happy. So I think there is that change of dynamic. And let's, like for me, one of the biggest things, let's go economic poverty. I remember there was a show, a time when on the news, it was a father abandoned his wife in the hospital after finding out that she had given birth to quintuplets. Are those five kids? Quintuplets. But they were poor, you guys. If you're even me, who can manage, I think I could have run. Like it's that responsibility, but it goes down to at least the fiber of the person. Poverty shouldn't make you abandon your family.
Exactly.
So it shouldn't really matter.
Bad manners. So my opinion is, for me, stems right from the beginning. Kind of like what Rachel was talking about. I think the most unfortunate thing is so I've worked a lot with couples, and I've seen couples that are breaking, like they are just about to have a breakup. Most times, the majority of those marriages, the women are strong-headed. Like they are, no, you will not, I won't take that, no, I will not, you understand? So for most of those marriages which have broken up, for most, not all of them, but for a good majority, the women are very, very strong. Now these women, unfortunately, in the beginning, they fall for the opposite.
That is it. That is it. They always fall for the opposite.
I find who? Someone who is also like
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, I feel like that, like every time I've looked at divorce, that's what I see. I just see.
But
I'm going to just give me a say. So the men are not very as strong as, now let me use myself as an example. Now, very strong personality, big-headed and all of that. Now I fell for my guy who is laid back. Now comes in the next dynamic.
Okay.
When your man finds that you're strong, can he rise up to that plate? Because also as we reach that place where we're like friends, I don't think this can work. And me, I'm like, yeah, I'm packing. I've gotten divorce lawyers.
everything.
The papers are here, please sign, because the way our constitution works, I can't sign, you sign. We went through the whole shebang. And I remember Brian told me, madam. So for me, at that place, I saw a new Brian. Do you click? Like he was like, no, I'm taking a hold of this shit. Now for me, another reason I feel men are I don't think Brian necessarily was always a laid back guy, and he was my direct opposite. I really do think who I have now is the real Brian. But I think because he was raised by a single mom, he saw strength. So he was used to strength, and he expected me to be strong. So when I came and I was strong, he was like, hey. He got with the program and we moved. That's the only way for us. Our marriage has been able to work. For those the women are not very strong and they're in a divorce situation, I really don't know. But I speak for the demographic that I know.
I'll speak a little bit about the women as well. We have a part to play. I don't mind couples like Pumla, strong personality, attracting a cool guy. We've seen marriages work. Like they go all together. Yes. It's just that the women, I like that you're strong, but know what the basics are in a marriage. The man doesn't want to be loved. Respect, that's all. Give him his respect. He doesn't even care about your personality. He was attracted to you with your strong self. When you fail on that, that's where it goes. So that's our part to play.
But out of this social discussion, I feel the need to highlight that there was a time right now in the past 2 years, these single member households have also risen out of death of spouses, especially now. There was a point when widowers, it has really been on the rise in the past 2 years because unfortunately of COVID-19 and many other diseases. It used to be HIV and now it seems to be HIV. So there's that component of where there was no fault. It was just
nature.
So I'm sure we each know a single parent household or a household that is being run by a single mom. Are we talking about single moms and single dads or just single moms? Single moms. Single parents.
We'll have a show.
We'll have a Okay, single mothers. So the ones how are they working out the dynamic? So the dynamic of
Have you met Pumla now?
Please introduce her to us.
Oh my God!
I would like to introduce you to Pumla Navacha.
My dear.
Pumla takes no She's strong. She's for me, she's one of those single moms that I know that has refused the label to go down with her. Like, because for a very long time, single mothers, the way you would be looked at, frowned upon. What
you failed.
Even on this show, she just has uplifted. I don't know how many single women. They used to be very quiet in Come On. These days they are out for us because they're just like
as they should be. Yes.
And so I think for me that's one. She's been a very good example for me personally. The second one, the best one for me has been my mom always.
Oh yeah.
She raised us as a single mom. Brian's mom is also the other mom for me. Has also been a single mom, and I think that the way they've managed is to just forget that they have any support. If the support comes, if it doesn't go, otherwise these children are my children. Can I leave them with the man? No. To take care of without me? No. Therefore, they have
my
taken on the responsibility 100%. My mom says she's married to Jesus, so yeah, that's how she is.
Banange, thank you so much for those nice words.
It's true. It's so true. I think that Pumla, not that you wear the single motherhood, but I feel like you've not allowed it to define you, and it says a lot, because we've talked a lot about like your personality and how you deal with bad life. But I want to add that doesn't mean that she didn't go through a struggle.
Yeah.
And maybe there might be a day where we hear her story, but there was a process to coming to where she was. Yeah. And I feel like maybe just to talk a bit about the struggle, I think the single moms that I have interacted with, I find that they are drained constantly, especially those that are just going through maybe just separated, or spouse has just died, or something has happened and there is no communication between them and the father of the children or child. I find that there's emotionally, financially, they are drained all the time.
Yeah.
They're drained all the time.
Roles. Yeah.
And my heart goes out to them, because yesterday I shared a meme with these guys while we're preparing for the show that there are actually some married women who are single.
Yes. Oh my God.
That's true.
They're married single
so
mothers.
true.
They're there in the home with a man.
Yeah.
It killed me so much. I say that to say she's going to tackle. I say that to say that the reason my heart goes out to single moms, especially when I hear from them that they are tired emotionally, physically, and financially, is that even me in my home, where I know I have support, I get tired. And so I can imagine a mom. You've gotten back home, you have to work, please not, to make ends meet, because there's no support coming here.
And then raise
and
your
then
children.
You have to raise your children, be a good parent. Some of them are just going through a heartbreak, which is something we can talk about on another day.
Yeah.
Because parenting while going through a heartbreak is a whole other dynamic. And having to go through all of that stuff without support, I can't imagine it. And so my heart breaks for single moms in that position.
I think it's just, it's really honestly just should be a decision you make. I find people always come and tell me, no, Pumla, you're just strong. How do you do it? How you seem so vibrant all the time? And what Rachel is saying is right. If you go and dig in the story, for everybody who has made it and is successful, that's the part people see. And that's why they like to refer to success like a dark. You see the glory that it moves above the surface, but beneath you don't know the struggle, you don't know what's happening, you don't know what is. And I'll tell you, it is exhausting, it is draining, it is tiring, it is lonely, it is sad, it takes away from you a lot. But you have to keep fighting, and let me tell you, it doesn't matter what way you go. It doesn't matter whether the thing chikutwala and it sinks you, or you keep fighting to stay above. You will get drained and exhausted and tired and sad, and you will cry, and you'll be there in your thing, and then you're like, but especially for us now who chose and said, Banange, this life, this bad life, what am I doing? So I left bad life to be another bad life. What is this? But if it's a decision you made and you've decided, Banange, this is where we are going, and even if it's not a decision that you made and life happened to you, you just have to ride the wave, because at the end, every rainbow has a pot of gold waiting. You just have to keep paddling. Parker, you get yours, and that is it, because you have children to raise. And you see, I've seen two kinds of single moms: the ones who allow that thing and everything in their life. Auntie, I'm a single mom. My baby daddy doesn't do this. Everything, they're always on the negative side. But I tell you, when you find the positive ones, I read an article in the Daily Monitor which I wanted to quote. Single mothers tend to be the ultimate hustlers, and in Uganda, some reports indicate that they are the backbone of the small-scale business
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
God made woman in a way that God gave woman a fiber that she should continue her line. We call it the man's lineage, but the truth is, children are protected, are guided, are raised by their women. Fight for their children. It gives you a reason to live the next day, to do better, to triumph everything. So if you can do that, they'll do anything. They'll make money and raise those children. And that segment of that half, I admire. Even me, I'm like,
I totally agree when you say, that article. I totally agree, because like 80% of the women there, because if a guy has left you, you have children to take care of, you level up, like they do 120%. So for me, I like the positivity, like quitters never win. You have to keep positive, keep fighting. Every time you keep crying, I mean, then who cares?
I must say though, like I feel like one of the reasons, and I think we've talked about it, is the economic factors. Poverty, even as a single mom, if there is poverty, you can look for the positivity, you don't see it. I saw it especially like with my mom. My mom started to embrace being a single woman and a single mother once money started to come in. And no wonder the Bible says, money answereth all things. Because the truth is, even our darling Pumla here, she can stand on her own. You understand? Financial independence is important. And so, even one of the things that I, when people come and tell me, I'm planning on leaving my home, I'm like, babe, what's in your bank? What is in your bank account right now? Because you best be prepared. If there's anything that the struggle is going to be hard. Now, if you add that struggle, the one that you get, we've just painted, and you add in no money, it's so tough. That will really, it calls, this single parenting thing calls for a lot of. So for many of the women, how they are doing it, financial.
It's actually
that's the only thing that helps.
I feel like it's the only thing that helps.
It assists.
Makes life just a little bit easier. A little bit easier.
Oh my God, this topic is totally inexhaustive. And even if we've just started the conversation, we've merely scratched the surface. There is so much more to delve into. We can talk about parenting, dating as a single parent. We can talk about, is it really, can a single parent raise a holy and successful child? So much to talk about. Parenting is hard work. Parenting alone is even harder. But don't let your circumstances deter you from the path that you have set out for your children. You can raise successful children even as a single parent. When we come back, we are going to be speaking to a lady who lost her husband and inadvertently was forced to raise 4 children by herself. You don't want to miss this. Until next time, with love from Bump Club.